Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how trading works and resources work in Hearts of Iron 4. So as of right now, in this current situation, I'm invading Soviet Union and I'm bombing Great Britain. So as of right now, I need a lot of divisions used for the Soviet Union invasion, while I also need to use some divisions to make sure Britain doesn't do a D-Day on me. And so basically, all of this manpower and resources have to be used. And so if we click up here, I do not have enough resources. I am lacking steel and rubber. And so the way we can get more of that is if we either take over more areas that have it, if I can find the map mode. And so basically we can take over other states that have what we need. Like Moscow has steel, this place here has steel, and that goes for any other resource that we need. So right now, the stuff that we control here is all we have. And basically, if we don't have those states, we can actually trade with other people for that. Trading costs civilian factories, however, and so you want to be careful who you trade with and how you trade with them. So let's say I need some steel. So this shows what they are currently exporting and what they currently can export. So right now America can trade 405 steel. The rest of the steel goes to themselves for producing wartime efforts or whatever. And so basically, if you want to trade with someone, you will want to trade with either your puppets or your allies. Now, be careful when you trade with your puppets, because that increases their autonomy, which can increase, which means they are more likely to get independent, and that means they're no longer your puppet. And so basically, if I was trade with Vichy France, because Vichy France and the Resistance DLC is not actually our puppet anymore, but they are close to us and they are fascists, which is what we are. So it's a best option to trade with Vichy France or Italy, as Italy is also our ally. So if we go to the trade tab, and if we want to trade some steel, we can always go to Vichy France, and as you can see, they are exporting up to 146 of steel. But with our civilian factory use, as we are using it for consumer factories and we're using it for construction, we only have a limited amount. So as right now, we can basically purchase up to 98, which we don't really need 98. We can purchase up to 90, sorry. And basically, if we want, I'm going to trade for 72, which means I have at least one extra steel over, and that's going to use 9 civilian factories. So once that begins going, we are now trading for more steel. So now we have now we're good on steel, but barely. So that's why we might want to trade more and conquer more land. Rubber is also another thing we need. And so here, none of our allies, besides Vichy France, has it. But just for the sake of it, I'm going to show you. I'm going to trade with Siam, which is all the way down here. And so if I was to trade with them, you can see this blue line here. This is the trade routes that our convoys are using to get the supplies from them to us. And so basically, all these supplies you have to guard at all times, just so people don't actually attack your ships. Because when you go into ships, they can do convoy raids, which basically sinks anything that is considered a convoy. And so you would want to be careful of where you're taking these to and how you do it. And so right now, as you can see, we're going for the English Channel to get to there, which, if we look at our Navy mode, we actually control the English Channel, surprisingly. But let's say if we didn't control it, or if we didn't want our ships going further just in case. If we click on that, it'll highlight what we are selecting, which is the English Channel, and we can show our access for our fleets and trade routes. And so we can turn this off, or avoid, or allow. So if we were to say,
Angetreten.
if we were to block this area, say England controls this area. If we were to say it was blocked, they would go around it. So here to the 40, it would go through it. And so that's how it works. And so like, let's say down here, if we wanted to block that off, they would go around that. And so that's just how it's good to like go around enemy nations just so they don't sink your ships to have your stuff, because you would still be trading in your civilian factories, but you won't be able to get your goods. See, right now we have -2 steel, so if we ever want to buy more, because we're probably producing more, we can keep buying more from it. And that's basically how trading works. And basically, you need all of these. Some of these you will export, and you can always change this. Right now I'm a war economy, which is the best besides total mobilization. But basically, that reduces the amount you export. Oh, sorry, I was on the wrong thing. But that also reduces your consumer good factories, meaning you can buy more stuff. So here, I'm on closed economy. So this is resources to market. And so if we look here, we're not exporting much. And so if you ever need to keep all the goods, all the resources you have in your state, you'll go to closed economy. Now, let's say you need more stuff like construction, research, all that. The more resources you trade, the faster everything's going to be. So if I was going to free trade, a lot more of my resources, I would go into negative. I can see here, I'm negative 500 in steel, negative 97 aluminum, is because I'm exporting a lot of it. And that's because basically in trade for getting all these buffs, I have to give up 80% of my resources. So if I was to go down the closed economy, I don't get any bonuses, but I don't trade any resources, which means most of my deficits are solved. And that is basically how resources and trade would work in Hearts of Iron 4. If you want more of this, let me know in comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.